There is nothing outside the field. There is no force beyond your reach. The moment you become still enough to notice, you realize you are not in the field, you are the field, and the field is sovereign. Rupert Spira once said, "Awareness does not belong to a person. The person appears in awareness." Now, this is not a philosophical idea, it's a structural fact. Everything you call you, your name, your stories, your fears, your triumphs, they're weather systems. You are the sky, and the sky does not answer to the storm. Sovereignty isn't a concept. It's not a trait. It's not a performance. It's what remains when you stop mistaking the clouds for the sky. It's what emerges when distortion is no longer given a seat at the table. It's what reveals itself when everything collapses and you're still standing. Not because you're strong, but because you're real. The field is not reactive, it's not needy, it doesn't seek applause or refuge or reassurance, it just is. And when you remember yourself as that, you no longer bend to emotion, demand, or distortion. You don't explain, you don't defend, you don't chase, you simply hold. The greatest lie ever told was that sovereignty is something you earn. It's not earned, it's reclaimed, like stillness beneath chaos, like breath beneath effort. It's not an acquisition, it's a remembering. And the remembering comes when you stop performing identity to be accepted inside a structure that cannot hold your truth. You don't build the sovereign field, you return to it. You don't speak it into being, you become quiet enough to hear it because it's already here. It's the unchanging awareness beneath every collapse you've survived. It's the silence that remains when everything else falls. You've heard this already in previous episodes. You are not the body, you are not the voice. You are not the man who succeeds, fails, or tries. You are the space in which all of that arises, the field, and the field is sovereign. So, what does that mean practically? It means you no longer source your truth from outside. It means you stop apologizing for your frequency. It means you stop negotiating your presence to be understood. Because coherence does not require agreement, and truth does not need a consensus to remain true. You do not lead from ego, you transmit from presence. You do not bend to noise. You build structures that make noise irrelevant. You do not wait to be validated. You become the field in which validation dissolves. Most men collapse because they try to protect a self that was never sovereign. They defend ego, they arm illusion, they reinforce distortion, all to avoid the discomfort of standing in naked awareness. And when the performance ends and the identity is no longer needed, you see what's always been there. Silence, stillness, sovereignty, the field. Let me offer you this. The kingdom of heaven is not a place. It is the absence of distortion. And when distortion falls, what remains is structure. That structure is not built from ambition, it's built from alignment. You don't need to reach it through effort. You recognize it by subtracting what is false. And what then remains is purely sovereign. If you're still waiting for the world to give you permission to be yourself, you are not sovereign. If you're still requiring external validation before you speak, you are not sovereign. If you're still walking on eggshells, suppressing truth to preserve connection, you are not sovereign. Sovereignty is not harshness. It is the uncompromising alignment with what is true, even when it costs you comfort, connection, or control. That is not about ego, it's about integrity. And integrity is not a virtue, it is structure. It's the condition in which the field remains undistorted regardless of what moves through it. That's sovereignty, and that's your original state. So, let the world misinterpret, let others contort, let the noise rise, you remain. Not because you resist, but because you are. You do not need to find the field, you only need to stop pretending that you are not in it. You do not need to protect the field, you only need to stop inviting distortion into it. And you don't need to prove your sovereignty, you only need to stop collapsing where truth wants to stand. You are not the storm, you are the sky. You are not the voice, you're the silence that births it. You are not the path, you are the field the path was built upon. And that field is sovereign. Welcome to The Architect Speaks.